welcome to the Ill Noise Business Playbook. We have here Nicole Davis from Birth to Five. Nicole, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I love the fact that we're matching here, Nicole.
hmm
That's pretty neat. I know we're going to talk about your organization, and just to throw this out there, I know I sort of meant reference that to you, but I don't think I've said this on air yet. When I initially graduated from college, I worked in the non-for-profit sector, and I really wanted to kind of give back and do some really good things. So I know that that's kind of what we're going to talk about here. So where did that passion come from as far as just working in that sort of sector?
Well, I personally felt called just to work in the early childhood sector when I was a teenager. I really wanted to see change in the world, and I realized it needed to start with the children who are our future leaders. So at the age of 17, I started my career in an early childhood center. I was a teacher, I was a director, and then I went into the nonprofit world after 18 years with the center and
Wow.
worked for a child care resource and referral agency. And I help people start up their own child cares. I also help parents find child care and let them know what quality child care looks like.
Okay.
And then I moved on to Birth to Five, Illinois, where I am at now. And I get to advocate for the parents and listen to them and the caregivers and the early childhood professionals, really speak about their experiences and hardships. And I just feel like the work I've been doing for nearly 27 years now is just making the difference. And there's no better feeling.
Great. I agree with you, by the way. So you're obviously making a difference out there. Let's talk a little bit more about Birth to Five. Talk about it, talk about its mission, talk about what you do there and why it's such an amazing organization.
Sure. So I know you introduced me as Nicole Davis. 2 years ago, I did get married. So my name has changed to Nicole Bach. But
Okay.
honestly, a lot of people in McHenry County still know me as Nicole Davis and said
Okay.
I will always be that.
All right.
But I am the regional council manager for Birth to Five, Illinois, Region 44, which covers McHenry County. I work very closely with my two employees, Chris Cozy, family community engagement specialist, and then Michelle Pineda, she's our administrative assistant. And then we also work with an Action and Family Council, and our Action Council is comprised of community members that have a wide variety of experience, either in the early childhood education and care world or outside of it, and are just leaders in the community. And then our family council is comprised, of course, of those families and caregivers who have children under the age of 8. And we are a statewide, publicly funded family and community engagement system. And we were created to help Illinois become the best state to raise a child in. And to meet this goal, we have to improve and expand the delivery of the services to ensure that all families in Illinois, regardless of their race, their home language, ability, social circumstances, whatever, that they have the services they need to prepare their children for school. Um, So in 2021, the state partnered with the Illinois Network of Child Care Resource and Referral Agencies, which is also called INCRA, and launched Birth to Five Illinois with the goal of creating these community councils in each of our 39 regions throughout Illinois.
Well, I will say too, just from what we said, your new last name is music to my ears. I had to say that corny joke. I'm sorry. My father would have killed me if I didn't recognize who Bach was. What sort of challenges do you guys experience with the organization? How do you kind of deal with those challenges?
Well, we started going out in the community and having our council meetings in 2022. So being brand new, it was rough in the beginning, and being a new agency and then gaining the trust of other agencies and leaders in the community. And it's also very difficult for people to understand that we are not a direct service agency, but we're a platform for local families, those early childhood experts and community members to share what is best for their children's futures, because we bridge that gap between decision makers and the community. So that's been probably the biggest hurdles we've had.
And what are ways that you get the word out about your organization? How do you let more families understand that this is something that you guys provide for them?
we slowly started building relationships. We started contacting schools, child cares, of course, libraries, held a lot of one-on-one meetings with agencies, and then attending many different family events in the community. That's basically how we've overcome that hump.
Okay. And I assume, and maybe I know because I've seen some pictures here, but I assume that there's certainly it's needed to have a nice relationship with the government structure in order to kind of keep moving forward and stuff. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah. I attend a lot of networking events to speak with leaders in the community, but also, all the regional managers throughout Berthified, Illinois, we go down to Springfield and we set up meetings with our elected officials that cover our regions. And then, of course, we meet with our local elected officials also to keep them updated and let them know, hey, what are you hearing about these families that are raising children under the age of 5? Because that's the kind of information that we're gathering.
I want to go back to something that we kind of talked about to start off, though. But where did this
Mhm.
burning desire come to help others so strongly? You said that ever since you were basically a child
Hmm.
or teenager, but I'm much older than a teenager now, so I always think of those as kids. But where did that sort of come? Where does that stem from?
Well, like I said, it was more of I wanted to see a change in the world.
Okay.
I it wasn't. I mean, I definitely love children. I have 4 kids myself, but I wanted to make sure that these future leaders had the best, quality education that they could before they even enter school, because 90% of your brain is formed during those years and it can really make you or break you. That's what drove me to work in the early childhood education and care field.
Um, and what do you see moving forward in the future as sort of things that you guys might need to adapt to or different ways in which to kind of make sure that you guys can keep going and growing in a positive manner? Like what sort of trends are you seeing within the industry that might need to have some eyes taking a look at it so we can deal with them?
Yeah. Yeah, we're in a very unique position that we work hard to spread the word on what we do, why we do it, how we do it, and we keep the community involved, obviously through social media and our council meetings, having tables at those family events and attending the networking events. Like I said, many different community meetings. I've held community meetings on topics like why mental and behavioral health is needed for these kiddos under the age of 5 and what services are out there in McHenry County in terms of early childhood education and care that goes beyond childcare. And right now, we're actually currently preparing a huge community meeting on August 26, 2025, to discuss the childcare crisis and how it's a business and economy crisis that's really affecting everyone. But we really adapt to future trends. We have a pulse on what families need and are supporting them and implementing changes for what they want for their children's education and care. I actually, if you want, I can go into some of the reports that we've written
Sure, of
that go
course.
into this. Yeah, so our very first report, it came out in summer of 2023. It was the Early Childhood Regional Needs Assessment. So each region wrote their own. So the one for Region 44 is just McHenry County. And the report really highlights stories and data from the community, uh, across all of McHenry County. And we included some strengths. Families and community identified their needs and recommendations on how our local early childhood education and care services can be more accessible and equitable. So, based on that, we wrote an action plan with our councils, and it's a living document. We took the top priorities from our regional needs assessment and developed specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound SMART goals for each of the recommendations. And we have plans and timelines to actually fulfill them. And then we took an in depth look into mental and behavioral health services in our region and looked at those services that are available for kiddos birthified and the early childhood providers that care for them.
Okay.
And then wrote a regional needs assessment focused on mental and behavioral health. And it talks again about the challenges and successes that families and early childhood providers have accessing the mental and behavioral health services.
I'm sure you've got a wonderful story to share with us, but talk to us about a moments of success that you've had since you've been affiliated with Birth to Five, like something that's really, stands out where you kind of quantifying, boy, oh boy, am I really doing something special here?
Yeah, I would say, well, I'm definitely proud when I get to meet with elected officials in Springfield and locally, and then hosting those community meetings to spread the word to our community of McHenry County and sharing our work. Like, I will go and speak at like the county board and let them know what we're hearing. But it's not just the act of actually doing it, but it's hearing and seeing the different reactions from the folks and how much our efforts have made such a difference to the families and the communities, or the community of McHenry County. That's what really gives you, the feel good vibes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you certainly are rather passionate about what you're doing here. And
Well, I absolutely love what I do. I love it.
it's so awesome to find something that you love doing that kind of is like your purpose, and it doesn't even feel like you're working sometimes. What's the best way for people to reach out to you? What's the best way for people to reach out to the organization to learn more about Birth to Five, Nicole?
Yeah. We have a general Birth to Five website, www.birth25, and that's all spelled out, l.com. Or if you do that with \region 44, it goes to our personal webpage. And then on the personal, or the Region 44 webpage is really nice because there's a contact us, and that will lead directly to my email. All of the reports I spoke about are on there, a link to sign up for our bi-monthly newsletter, a list of our Action and Family Council members, and also right now, because it's summer, we have a link open for people who want to fill out an interest form to join our Action or Family Council. They're only open in the summer, the interest forms, and this year they're closing at midnight, September 5th, hard deadline.
Okay.
So now is like the perfect time to speak with me or fill out a form if you're interested. And we are also holding information sessions about them if people are more interested. And, oh, and of course our Facebook page, at Birth 25 Illinois, Region 44. Everything spelled out except for the number 44.
Excellent. Well, listen, Nicole, we really appreciate you spending some time with us today, and it's really wonderful to hear about the wonderful stuff that you're doing with Birth to Five. So thank
Oh,
you so
thank
much.
you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
You got it. You take care.